Hey, Wanderers. So your cruise ship docks at 6 a.m. on disembarkation day, and you've got the flight home booked at 10 a.m. Everything should be okay, right?
No.
Maybe. But this is one of those cruise mistakes that can turn into a huge vacation blow up that just disseminates your entire trip and makes that the only thing you remember. Because the ship arriving at 6 a.m. does not mean that you're walking off the ship at 6:05. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that new cruisers make. And today's video is about how to not make this simple mistake and what your options are. And, it's gotten to be where everybody just wants to get off the ship at the end of the cruise and just run home. And I get that because some of the cruises are long. You don't even like being gone that long sometimes. You want to get
Mm.
back.
I do wanna get home, but I'm not ready to, like, get off as soon as we dock because you can stay on longer, and many people don't know that.
They think like, okay, my boarding group says I got to be off by 8 o'clock, but a lot of people don't know that you can go and get breakfast that day. So
Mhm.
depending upon what classification and what kind of ship you are on, there'll be a restaurant. The main dining room very often is open because a lot of people think,
Buffet.
oh, the buffet is a lot of times one of them that's open, but main dining room we've eaten in several times. So you can have a nice sit down leisurely breakfast before you get off the ship. That's the thing that a lot of people don't know that you can do. Everything about traveling by airplane these days is stressful, but you can make it leisurely. One of the things we recently did in Rome was to book a hotel for the last day so that we flew out the next day. Now, that did a couple of different things. First off, it can adjust the cost of your airfare
Mm.
because airfare costs are very much tied to the day that you're leaving. And if you're leaving when everyone else is leaving, when the ship docks, prices are naturally going to be higher. So if you can extend that out a day or two, right there is a cost savings. And I think that's important to realize there's a cost savings because a lot of people are thinking right now, oh, wow, there's one more expense. I got to book a hotel at the end of the cruise. I already had to book a hotel at the beginning of the cruise because you should never go in the day of. We've talked about that many times. But now you're telling me that I got to book one at the end of the cruise too. The costs just keep adding up.
But one night was cheaper than weekend air.
Well, absolutely less expensive than doing those maybe Sunday getaways because those are one of the busiest travel days or any of those weekend days. And so just the cost savings there alone equals a much more leisurely pace for you. And if you're in a great place like Rome, you're going to want to get an extra day in. We booked a private tour with our driver and we just went and saw all the sights in Rome and had a nice lunch, got to the hotel, had a nice dinner, leisurely night before travel, and we got to the Rome airport and it all got stressful again. But imagine if you hit the Rome airport and all the things that are unfamiliar about the way they do things in European airports, add that onto the chaos of getting off the ship
Yeah.
and then, making there on time. It just is going to be a vacation ruiner.
So tell me this, what's your thoughts of a later in the day, but maybe do an excursion? Like if you're in Florida, alligator things, or some hotels have day passes.
I think that's the prime way to go, right? We had a group that did that where you get off the ship and you have a late afternoon. Now, a lot of airports will have a 4 hour rule. You can't go through security till 4 hours. But Florida airports are really strict on this because they have so many people leaving, like Disney and the resorts. A lot of airports in Florida, they're all sleeping in the
Yeah.
airport. But that's just because they can't get through security, yet their hotels or their cruise ships kick them off. So
And
what do you
sometimes they
do?
can't even check their bags.
That's what
They're
I'm
just
saying.
laying
Yeah.
there on the floor with their suitcase.
The counter people won't even take your luggage because once they'll accept your luggage, they'll let you go through. You're checked in. Orlando airport's one of the worst because there's people sleeping everywhere because it's Disney's feeding that. So yes, we had a group that did they went on an alligator tour.
Mhm.
They did the Everglades thing.
And I think the company let them store their luggage in their office.
And you go to an excursion like a Everglades tour, very often they'll have a place that you can store your luggage because they are familiar with people who need to kill 2, 3, 4 hours before their flight. So this is an ideal situation, even in the States, to be able to get that later flight, which is going to let you get more leisurely from the cruise ship and get your flight home, but you get a little space filler that makes your vacation seem like it's got an extra day involved.
Mhm.
Your cruises all include the day one and the last day as part of it, but you're not really doing much besides getting on and getting off.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity where you can make that feel like part of the vacation. And the other thing you mentioned, which is definitely viable, and this is really big in Florida, are resorts, hotels with day passes. So you can go in and you can get the use of a full room. Florida can be very hot. Maybe you're all pulled out. You don't want any more beach. Those are options at a lot of these places. You can get another beach day or another day for the kids swimming at the pool. Or you can just go in a nice air conditioned room, relax. Maybe you didn't sleep well with all of the stress about disembarkation, and you get that nice extra nap in before taking your home flight. Now, the other thing that goes on with cruise disembarkation that a lot of people do today is the stress about leaving your luggage outside. Make sure that you're packing it correctly. Every group, there is somebody who in the luggage that got taken away that you have to pick up in the cruise port, their shoes, their medicine, their passports, all the stuff that they're going to need to get on the plane, they put in the bag.
Right.
Keep a backpack or a small bag with you. We use Bag Smart Blast backpacks, and I think they're great.
Yeah.
We put
They
all
hold a
kinds of
lot.
stuff. They hold a lot of stuff. We've talked about you keep our swimwear on them for embarkation days because we can go right to the pool. Opposite, you keep the stuff you need for that disembarkation day handy with you instead of putting it in your check bag. Now, a lot of people go, well, then I just do that self disembarkation. That's a terrible option
Yeah.
because now we've got people trying to haul 28-inch suitcases, full-size suitcases, down the gangplank, through the elevators, which are already crowded. Elevators are the universal pain point of all cruise ships on every cruise line. There never seems to be enough. It's the one place on all cruise ships where you'll feel like, okay, it's crowded. Now, there are other times you're like, there's nobody on this cruise ship. There's 3,000 people. Go to the elevators, you seem to find all 3,000.
Yeah.
Embarkation day, disembarkation day, the elevators are terrible. Trying to handle that size luggage down the stairs is a non-starter. All it does, slow down the lines because these people are trying to lug all this luggage down so they don't have to deal with setting it out. Go ahead and set it out. Just plan accordingly. And planning accordingly is where it really comes in to using a travel advisor because they can book that hotel within your budget. They can book that after cruise excursion. It's going to fill that time before you get on your airline, and they can help you look for airline flights that work out best. These are things that are just really difficult to plan on your own, not because it's hard to research, but because there's so many moving pieces and trying to line them up so that they all work together and that you're getting off the ship, you're getting to the excursion, you have a transfer from the ship to the excursion, from the excursion to the airport, and it all just flows seamlessly to reduce your stress on that last day because you had a great vacation and you don't want to mess it all up with those travel woes that everybody gets when you're trying to fight with everybody else who's getting off the ship, getting to the airport, getting there on time, catching that flight because you booked it at the wrong time. These are all things that can seem overwhelming that your advisor can help you out with. And all those things, now that we've done an extra day, we did an Glades tour once, flying out of Fort
We did the
Lauderdale.
hotel once.
We've
We
done the
stayed for a
hotel.
few hours.
What is your preferred one?
I liked the hotel, especially if we had had kids. If we had had kids, the thought of sitting in the airport with all of our luggage would have been a nightmare. And we've done that
We
too
did do that.
after Disney because there really wasn't enough time to do anything, but too much time at the same time. I like the hotel.
Is it an extra wind down? You don't want to get more active with an excursion?
No, I like like you said, the wind down. I like the calm because getting off the ship is hectic.
Yeah, even if you stop for breakfast,
Yeah,
once you
it is.
join that
It's
line going
hectic.
off,
Yeah, and then you have to find your
find your luggage
luggage.
amongst all of them.
Yeah, so I don't want to go from a week of calm, relaxing to a hectic airport, hectic airplane. I need something in between.
Disembarkation can be one of the roughest times of your trip. Let us help you make it easier, help you plan it. Don't make your trip memory about that terrible time you had getting out. Keep your memories about all the fun you had while you were on your trip, and it will be one of those memorable trips that you have to talk about for a lifetime. Stay wonder-worthy, and we'll see you next time. Want the full experience? Tap the link below. New adventures drop every Wednesday at 6 p.m.